We all have a responsibility to make a difference, whether it's among our friends or family, at school, work, or in our community. Your input can go a long way towards creating value and turning a situation around for the better. In this edition of Jamaica Magazine, we see how the commitment of 3 organizations is adding value and improving lives of individuals and communities. I'm Theodore Henry. The news is right after this break.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Protect yourself from the bite of this mosquito. A message from the Ministry of Health, sponsored by the NHF.
Jamaica, among the top 10 most improved economies in the world. That's right, our island's business environment has advanced to the extent that the World Bank has noticed. The multilateral agency has named Jamaica one of the most improved economies globally in which to do business in its newly released Doing Business Report 2016. This ranking is attributed to Jamaica's implementation of 4 major reforms over the past year. Investors have noticed too and are coming on board. So let's continue to work together to make Jamaica the place of choice to do business.
Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your GIS News for Wednesday, January 13. Government has moved to ensure that there is enough chicken meat to meet local demand and keep prices for the product stable. Agriculture Minister Derek Kelly says Jamaica Broilers, producers of the best-dressed chicken brand, has agreed to put another 50,000 chickens per week into production starting next week. Those chickens will come into the market in 6 weeks' time. A similar agreement is being sought with Caribbean Broilers to meet the demand for chicken meat.
The ministry will also grant import licenses for 4 containers a week for 5 weeks for leg quarters. We will also monitor demand continually to ensure production levels match demand going forward.
Minister Kelly says the imported leg quarters will be sourced from the United States and Canada and only from areas that have been declared bird flu free. He was speaking on Tuesday at the official opening of the Best Dressed Chicken Cumberland Hatchery in Portmore, St. Catherine. He contended that the increased demand for poultry meat was an indication that the country's economy was becoming stronger.
And indeed, we welcome the increased demand as a pull factor that will spur even greater investments and greater production in the poultry industry.
The Senate has passed 3 strategic local government reform bills. The legislation, which were passed in the House of Representatives last year, were approved by the Upper House on January 8. They are the Local Governance Bill, Local Government Unified Service and Employment Bill, and the Local Government Financing and Financial Management Bill.
The legislation before us today fulfills our commitment to give local government the modern legislative tools needed for its optimal responsiveness to communities and citizens.
The Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica PCJ's oil and gas exploration program is progressing steadily. PCJ says Tullow Jamaica Limited will undertake a 3,000-kilometer 2D seismic survey as part of the work program outlined in the production sharing agreement that the company signed with the corporation in November 2014. Under the agreement, Tullow is carrying out exploratory work on blocks off the south coast of Jamaica. This week, the company contracted the BGP Challenger, a seismic vessel for the current phase of the program. Energy Minister Philip Paulwell, along with other executives of the ministry and the PCJ, toured the vessel on Tuesday.
What this has done is to put Jamaica on the map. And as a result, there are a number of companies now that have approached the government to find other areas in and around Jamaica for exploration. And we are, in fact, deep in negotiation with another major corporation involved.
The BGP Challenger is to head to the south coast later this week, where it will remain for about a month to conduct seismic surveys in Jamaican waters. The ship's state-of-the-art equipment will capture images of the rock layers beneath the sea floor, which will be carefully analyzed to assess if there are any accumulation of hydrocarbons. The data will be integrated into sophisticated computer programs to further analyze Jamaica's potential for having commercial oil and gas. Government continues to strengthen its cybersecurity platform with the full operation of its dedicated unit, which is charged with responding to computer incidents. Science and Technology State Minister Julian Robinson says that with the facility now fully equipped and staffed, the Computer Incident Response Team CERT is now able to carry out work to facilitate rapid detection, response, mitigation and recovery from threats to government's IT resources. The team will also ensure timely recovery from incidents, coordinate incident response amongst all GOJ security contacts, and carry out ongoing revision of response procedures to remain relevant and effective.
Ultimately, the CERT seeks to engender confidence in the use of our cyberspace such that Jamaicans can continue to achieve their full potential.
Minister Robinson was addressing a GIS think tank on Tuesday on the ministry's cybersecurity public education and awareness campaign. And finally, the Ministry of Tourism and Entertainment has issued an open call for the submission of new and existing entertainment events to be added to the Reggae Month, It's Kingston for February 2016 calendar. Events eligible for submission are those that fall between February 1 and 29. Entertainment State Minister Damian Crawford says the proposed events must be related to reggae or another musical art form typical of Jamaica. The events must also be booked for staging in the Kingston metropolitan region. This year marks the 9th staging of Reggae Month and will be observed under the theme Reggae Make Ya. It highlights Kingston's newly designated status as a creative city of music by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. The deadline for submission is January 25 and event organizers may view submission rules and guidelines on the ministry's website, mot.gov.jm/entertainment. They may also contact the Ministry of Tourism and Entertainment's head office located at 64 Knutsford Boulevard in New Kingston. And that's it for GIS News today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thank you for watching.
Nobody want to plant the corn. Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on when it's a next man you are deep in pan. Well, you're wrong.
Farmers, let us be serious about predial larceny. It is affecting all of us. If you are aware of incidents of predial larceny, make contact with your local police station or call Crime Stop at 311. Predial larceny is everybody's business.
The government is committed to ensuring that Jamaicans can grow what we eat and eat what we grow. To achieve this objective, it has provided sustainable and secure food supplies for the nation. In the year in review for the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, we see the measures that were implemented to meet this objective in 2015.
In 2015, the Ministry of Agriculture planted new seeds of development and witnessed their growth. And while would-be obstacles sprouted, the progress was not allowed to be derailed. As farmers battled drought and fires, the Agri-Ministry activated its $25 million rehabilitation and replanting program in June.
The Ministry of Agriculture is prepared, and its agency rather, to work with you 100% in the recovery program.
20 million funded coffee, banana and planting replanting. Approximately 5 million was for drought mitigation methods, including the distribution of 300 650-gallon water tanks. Burnt-out coffee farmers got seedlings and fertilizers. And cane farmers severely affected by the droughts in 2014 and 2015 received a 20% relief on loan payments. This should allow them to finance required inputs to continue production. The inputs to production made their way to farmers in 2015 even when there weren't disasters to contend with. Seedlings and irrigation infrastructure helped onion farmers. Farmers in Clarendon, St. Thomas, St. Anne, Manchester and Trelawney were happy to receive much-needed hand tractors. So too were the island's cocoa farmers. Cassava production went up in 2015 following the signing of a lease agreement with private sector company Red Stripe for another 250 acres of land. After the signing of an MOU in April, 200 Manchester, St. Elizabeth and St. Anne farmers are getting ready to put 20 greenhouses at 8 mined-out bauxite locations to good use. One target of all that production in 2015 was the export market. In January, 4,068 kilograms of banana were exported to the United Kingdom. In May, the ministry committed $250 million to the Banana Export Expansion Program. 2 food export facilities in Western Jamaica benefited from $2.1 million in grant assistance to get their facilities compliant with local and international standards. A GOJ private sector partnership established an off-site fumigation facility in Manchester to help prepare and package products for exports. The agriculture sector saw a 14% reduction in theft of farm animals and produce as the ministry stepped up its predial larceny prevention campaign. In March, a predial larceny prevention unit was established, and by November, the division had 133 prosecutions, resulting in 125 convictions. 2 vehicles were supplied to mobilize their daily operations.
And we're working for the farmers to ensure that you feel safe, you are protected, and that you are reassured.
The Agriculture Ministry also concluded the tagging of 60,000 cattle under the National Identification and Traceability System. Focus was also given to the Fisheries Division. 2 drones were acquired to protect our waters from overfishing and poaching.
The protocols have been tested for the safe and efficient deployment of drones to better monitor Jamaica marine space.
And the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries and the UN Food and Agriculture Organization signed a $30 million agreement to carry out a 2-year project on the viability of a local sea cucumber industry. In the area of institutional strengthening, $70 million was spent to construct a new 2-story radar office in Trelawney. A solar system was installed at the Ebony Park Irrigation Pumping Station in Clarendon. The ministry also awarded a $12.2 million grant to fund the renovation of the dairy unit at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education case. The Ministry of Agriculture, enhancing the development of a modern, efficient and internationally competitive agricultural sector. More farm workers receive overseas employment, $6 billion for PATH beneficiaries, and increased economic empowerment grants for persons with disabilities. Just some of the major happenings from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security in 2015. We revisit the year that was inside Jamaica magazine.
The poverty alleviation strategies implemented by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund are proving successful as they adopt a communal approach to transforming communities and changing lives.
The community investment project came to a close in March 2015. During that period, we significantly impacted rural communities, but some of the innovative things done on the CIP, not just infrastructure works, but the Bridge Jamaica project, which was piloted in the rural areas. Initially, we were to implement the Pointed program in 7 of Jamaica's poorest parishes. We chose 30 families from Portland, Trelawney, and St. Thomas, 10 families from each parish. And at the end of the CIP, we gave out a significant number of housing grants, educational grants. We assisted families with healthcare, but most notably, we have 5 graduates from heart training programs who have matriculated into the system in the area of tourism and hospitality, as well as 4 persons who are going to complete their certification at primary level education. These are persons who are in their 40s, 50s. We even had someone in their 70s start with us. They have kids, so it's nice for them to be able to help their child with their homework. The CIP, I believe, made a very lasting impact on the rural communities that we touched. Another thing that the CIP program did was where we did infrastructure projects in roadworks, we ensured that there was training to the farmers in the communities. So we gave them agribusiness training. We taught them how to properly use the materials, the pesticides, how to protect themselves while using the pesticides, and we taught them how to market their produce. We taught them how to work as a group within the community, as a farmers co-op, help them to partner with each other. So that's what the agribusiness training did for each individual community. I love that the CIP, in its mandate to affect lives in specifically deep rural communities, did that.
Looking ahead, the JSIF plans to continue its emphasis on social and economic infrastructure development through the implementation of the Basic Needs Trust Fund 7th program, the second phase of the Petro-Caribbean Development Fund Community Sanitation Project, the fourth phase of the European Union Poverty Reduction Program, the Rural Economic Development Initiative, the Integrated Community Development Project, and the JSIF JPS project Step Up. The JSIF's efforts in contributing to the decrease in poverty levels in the country are in fact the foundation and the engine of the organization's future development. As such, the JSIF will continue to invest in the discovery and development of innovative poverty alleviation strategies, which will ultimately lead to sustainable national development. Furthermore, the organization will continue to let its guiding principle be placing people at the center of project implementation.
We are entering into our 20th year of existence, and it is a time for reflection, it is a time for future planning, it is a time for new ideas and new approaches, and so we're excited about this prospect, and you will certainly be seeing more about JSIF as we go forward into the future.
Last week, we looked at the first 4 steps to take when creating a successful career growth plan. Today, we look at the last 4 steps to put you on the right path. Number 1, grow your network. It's never too early or too late to grow your network, whether through apps like LinkedIn or attendance at local events in your area. Offer to connect others to members of your network that could help them without expecting anything in return. The more you organically grow your network by being generous and sincere, the greater your chances of being someone worth remembering. Number 2, make a big commitment. If sitting around and wishing for a big change hasn't gotten you anywhere in 2015, make a new resolution to take action. Invest in a career coach, training, or classes to hone new skills and credentials for your resume. Look at spending money on yourself, whether through career counseling or a much-needed investment like a laptop upgrade. Number 3, write down your goals. Writing out your goals may seem too simple to really work, but there's a science behind that exercise. Writing down concrete, specific goals and strategies can help you overcome obstacles and achieve. And number 4, celebrate your successes. Taking the time to celebrate successes is just as important as charting out your path to success. Without acknowledging your accomplishments, without properly paying them respect, you're likely to miss the fact that they ever really happened.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them. A message from the Ministry of Health, sponsored by the NHF.
It's been 11 months.
7 years. 12 years.
Since I became the most important person in the world.
It's a big responsibility to know that her future is in our hands.
I have to tell him and show him that he is my number one. I want to prepare them for life's journey. So as them grow, them know the difference between right and wrong.
I gotta make sure I keep him out of bad company. Because if I don't raise him right, the streets are gonna raise him. I feel, she feel.
If me stumble, him fall. Knowing I'm responsible for their future and they're responsible for Jamaica's future.
So I won't give up or allow her to quit. I'm gonna make sure I'm safe on the straight and narrow.
Me prefer to tell them no now than watch them regret it later.
Because to the world, I'm just another person. But to my child, I'm the whole wide world.
The Jamaica Information Service is also adding value to lives, not only through the programs broadcast by the various media, but through the outreach program at the Mount Olivet Boys' Home.
From the office in Kingston to the home in Walderston, Manchester, it was a full JUTC bus of JIS staff with no seat to spare. Wards of the state at the Mount Olivet Home for Boys eagerly awaited another day of fun and excitement. Their home was adopted by the Jamaica Information Service in 2009 as part of its main corporate social responsibility. The organization has been making multiple trips every year since.
I'm happy to be back here at Mount Olivet again to celebrate another year with the boys.
Christmas is the final of the 3 main yearly visits by the JIS. The provision of mentorship, delivery of food, school and other necessary supplies, plus career and fun days have made Mount Olivet a more comfortable home environment.
It was selected by members of staff. We assessed the needs. We came together and we decided that we would adopt this home 6 or so years ago. It's always very exhilarating, refreshing to see the boys here at Mount Olivet Boys Home. It makes us feel good as members of staff, as a JIS family, to know that we're giving back, we're investing in a boy's life. And right here we have so many boys that are in need of comfort and encouragement and mentoring, and we just want to be able to give back and invest in their life.
The Christmas dinner and prize-giving ceremony in December ended 2015 on a high note as everyone gathered to share in another quality family moment.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Jesus come for all, and we must hear his call. Open up your heart today and let it be. No matter if you're deep or if you're dread or if you have a crown on your head, no matter if you have no heart at all, Jesus bring love for one and all.
Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
The team celebrated the birthday anniversaries for those boys whose birthdays came in the previous 4 months. Christmas gifts and prizes were also handed out. The boys were also motivated and encouraged to absorb the good things that life has to offer by guest speaker Erica Langley. The pediatric nurse who traveled from Florida for the event had a start similar to the boys in the facility.
Their future is bright. Right now where they are is just the beginning of the journey, and that if they would take everything that's been taught to them, if they can remember the skills and all the knowledge that the people who facilitate this home teaches them, it can carry them a long way. And that they have the potential to be anything that they want to be.
Jermaine Price, a past resident of Mount Olivet who also lives overseas, came back to the home to motivate the boys.
There's nothing that you think that is hard. It's not hard. For you to put your mind to it, it will happen. For those who tell themselves that they do not know parents or any family, don't let that get you down. Because ahead of you, there are greater things.
Administrators at the home expressed their pleasure at the long-lasting relationship with the JIS.
From what we have seen, the boys have enjoyed the whole setting for today. This is something that they look forward to each year with the JIS and the Joan Blake Foundation, coming down, sharing with them and giving them gifts as part of the Christmas season.
We're a private facility here, right? So the kind of support that we get from the government as other homes do, it's not the same. It's significantly reduced. So without the contribution of entities such as the JIS and a lot of other corporate entities in Jamaica, we wouldn't have been able to do the kind of work we've been able to do to change lives. The boys that come to us have been impacted in such a way by the various projects. You have Why Be Afraid Foundation with Johan Blake. You have you guys who come here every single year without fail. And it is an awesome thing to see that even though they came through the home here and they may not have had the kind of environment that we call stable and traditional, they still do very well for themselves, and we're extremely proud of that. We couldn't have done it without you.
A lot of this wouldn't have been possible without the sponsors, so I just want to say thanks in terms of all the gifts and the food and everything. Thanks to CB Chicken, thanks to Rainforest Seafoods, thank you to Amar's and Joseph's Why Be Afraid as well. They sent a number of things with us. New Choice Wholesale in downtown Kingston as well.
With another year of intervention dawning, JIS CEO Donna Marie Rowe has assured Mount Olivet of the agency's continued assistance to guide the proper development of the youth being cared for at the home.
We just want to continue to make a difference in the lives of the boys here at Mount Olivet. We want to continue to contribute to your development and give you guidance in any way that we can. The word from now is guidance. We want to give you guidance because that's what young people need today.
More farm workers receive overseas employment, $6 billion for PATH beneficiaries, and increased economic empowerment grants for persons with disabilities. Just some of the major happenings from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security in 2015. We revisit the year that was inside Jamaica magazine.
Let the JIS inspire you every day. Hang out with us at www.jis.gov.jm on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. I'm Theodore Henry. As we sign off today, remember, you should strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. So says Albert Einstein. Thank you for watching, and continue to create a life of gratitude and understanding.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.